Nice and smooth, smooth is fast. Carry that momentum through the corners, we're laughing. Regular approach, and I'll just pick up when we get cracking. Red paint on power and that's it go. Hold tight still. Nice and brake. Good. Momentum brake. Too much steering lock too soon, get there gradually. Start easing it across in good time. Too far left, gonna get to that inside earlier. Straight line across, keep it going, keep it going. Braking, off it, light throttle. As soon as you're hitting your apex, you're gonna be on the throttle. Full power basically at the apex.
So it's slightly down this morning.
Yeah, it's a dry line now, but let the tyre temp build up first. Keep it a bit more now, go. Try not to trail brake there, you want to do all your braking in a straight line and copy.
Something over last year, we were when should have been trail braking and went to the left.
Braking, off brake, light throttle, bit more, switch the lock and go.
Why not trail brake to the first corner?
Don't trail brake anywhere at Donington, it's all done in a straight line here. Brake in, down the gears, swing through it, off and in. Apex just the other side of the ball line, bit tighter, power. Red gate, you're taking that line of least resistance. As soon as you get to the ball line, it's a straight line now. Right brake in the circuit, still be there. Going straight rope, brake in. Off brake in, light throttle, go. Signal, go now. Not seeing it. Over to the left.
Between the orange and this bit?
Yeah, so you're aiming there, exactly as you are, down gear, off brake, as soon as you see red paint, aim for it, then on the power, second ball out. Left arm, braking, off and in, light throttle, bit more, keep going, it's okay for the rear, that overcorrection there, that was the car self-rotating. Don't try and sort of overkill that, just have a nice gentle turn into it, and let it rotate the car for you. Off in, light throttle, a bit more, so off you go. Way too much left hand lock there. You're going to be willing to beat that left hand apex, still with the back hand lock on. Slowed it down more than I thought he did then. Braking, off, into my throttle. Don't be afraid of that apex curve, you pretty much got to mount it.
Just got to start understeer
Pretty much, that's because you turned in a little bit late. You want to turn in before you got to the ground. Braking down, good. Off a little bit, throttle, switch the lock and go. Better, a little bit more speed to the first apex.
We're doing okay.
Really good, bring it forward, keep going. Braking down gears. Off and in, light throttle, a bit tighter, go. Right, good. Straight. Great. The traffic jam. Past the Alpine lift. Just before the end of the curve, left. Braking. Off, in. Set forward, there we go. Good. Braking down one. Off, in. Nice roll. Better, now better. Last one, more power. Or you're going to repeat yourself down here. Great, good, it is fun. And in. You see the two sleepers on that first apex? The big steel blocks. As soon as you can see both of them completely turn in. Tighten more. Go. Go to the right. There we go. Straight. Left. Straight down one. Good. Off and in. Power. Keep that consistent brake pressure. Throttle, bit more, go. That's that self-rotation.
It's sliding there with the gear.
Exactly, that's like one. You brake in before the brow, like go. Again, try not to trail brake, but be accelerating over that apex.
Two bullets here, the two black ones.
The two silver blocks of yellow, so now,
okay.
Go. Hold, quick switch, lock and go. Perfect. That was good. That's what we want.
How much more black by the way?
I'll have none of that. Not yet, and in. Maybe just that forward, just tighter. Go. Don't panic brake, don't panic, adjust the brake pressure. You're fine doing it as you were, then as soon as you feel the left get a bit squirrely, you add pressure on, it just builds momentum.
I was a bit nervous I wasn't getting turned in.
So you'll be fine, off and in, light throttle, go, power, get the lock off now. Braking, now one, off and in, light throttle, over the curve, keep going. Throttle through the right, quick switch to lock and go. brake, the aim of the game. Off brake when you mean the curb, light throttle, then boom. As soon as you're aiming at the apex, go black. Just before the end of the curb, in. Going straight front, brake. Off and in, light throttle. Yeah. That just the aggression is what kills the slide. Turn into it nicely and it'll hold really sweetly. In, light throttle. Going. A little bit less more. Let it straight now. Car accelerates better the less steering lock you've got to apply. Good, gears. Off and in, light throttle. On the throttle, switch up the lock, here we go. Oh yeah, that's the spot on track. Off in, light throttle, side turn, go. Caution to the right.
Situation like this.
Yeah.
Right park off and then try getting power on to get out of the corner quicker.
You can do, yeah. Cars like the two in front, in your car you don't really need to because you'll blast past them anyway. But you can do, yeah, red. Time that well, yeah. Just under a minute left on the
that was amazing. I think you know how much when I see how much I'm buzzing all the time. I just absolutely love it, and I can feel getting better, and when I start to feel when the car's moving. When you're saying rotation, when it done it, like I can feel it, but I can't do it all the time.
You can't. What tends to happen is that first couple of times you feel it, you only really associate that feeling with like out of control, like spinning the car.
Slide, yeah.
So you automatically just grab on a load of lock as hard as you can and turn into it. Try and just have a relaxed approach to it. The same rate the car's sliding, you turn into it. Okay. What you're doing with your footwork's fine. Don't change what you're doing with your feet.
Right.
But the way you turn into it's too aggressive. When the back end starts to come out, just turn into it gentler, nice and smooth. So the same rate the back end comes round, it's the same rate you turn into the slide.
Okay.
And you'll find it becomes really easy to hold. I haven't got that feeling
in my arse like you have, right?
It'll come.
The sensitive, to feel it.
Yeah. The thing is though, that can be taught. You can get better at that.
Okay.
So just having that sort of, it's almost just sort of having the mindset of don't over exaggerate. Just one gentle turn into it as the back end's coming around, and you'll just start to get the feel. It's almost as if you're sort of pushing down on the left hand side of the car. So say you're getting a slide through the right hand corner. It's like you feel it through like pushing down on the left hand side of your cheek.
I felt it when Ali, remember we spoke to you before we left, he can do it because he's a really, like yourself, a good driver. But I felt it on the one you said between the orange and the piling.
Yeah. I
felt it there. I felt it a couple of times in the first corner.
Yeah, you had it at Redgate a couple of times.
But the apex, I'm always waiting to see is it understeering or not. And you're like foot power on earlier than I can detect as you go on.
But the beauty of it is you're nailing the apex at Redgate every time.
Yeah.
So since they've been resurfaced, a lot of the curbs around here are lower than the actual surface of the circuit.
Yeah.
So there's a little slope that joins the curb to the circuit. And what you're doing every lap, you're getting your front right on that little slope. So it's sort of...
So is that the red bit before there's a little lip before it comes up to the tarmac?
So this is the bit between the tarmac and the main bit of curb.
Okay.
If you can get your sidewall, the inside of your sidewall, to ride that bit of curb at turn 1, you can get on the power a lot earlier.
Okay.
Which is what you were doing, which is why I was encouraging you to go.
So you're telling me that, but I'm like, I'm still waiting so I feel the car's got enough grip. It's not got understeer, but you're like, it has, just put the power down.
Yeah.
But I can't feel that delicacy yet.
So with understeer, what you got to think, unless you're going from 10% throttle, 100% throttle instantaneously,
Yeah.
a car like this isn't going to understeer.
Okay, right.
So you've got to just have that faith that as long as you're doing things progressively and not just,
Yeah.
it's
You can
not
see
going to understeer.
I'm bolting on the power, but you're telling me you can bolt on quicker.
Yeah,
but I'm
exactly.
still gradually doing it. Try to analyse what the car's doing. But you're going from here to there. I'm going in the little steps. Try to get
Yeah.
to that point.
Yeah, but it's only going to come with the more time you spend in the car.
Yeah.
Cause
In Old Hall, I remember before, I was probably braking too late here because I was going in too quick, and I know I should be off full power before the apex.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like trying to get the car under control again before, and I think it was one time I done it and I was able to get the power on pretty much just after the apex, I imagine, and then I run out wide to the red and white chevrons.
It's so with old hairpin, the idea is you brake, so there's that curbing on the left hand side.
Yeah.
You want to do all your braking aiming at the middle of that curb, the centre point of that curb. Do all your braking, have your downshift. As soon as you meet that curb,
Yeah.
off brake, turn in, a light throttle, and like I said, there's a point. The lowest point of the circuit is just before your apex there. You feel the car compress.
Yeah.
As soon as the car compresses, full
Okay.
power, go.
So am I maybe going too quick into the turning point, that corner?
No, I think you can go quicker into old hairpin. I think because the dry line's quite narrow there,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's slightly off-putting because half the car's on a bit of grease when you're braking.
Yeah.
So if you sort of have a little bit of faith that the car's turning in completely on a dry line,
Yeah.
you'll be able to turn in more neatly. You'll carry more speed into the apex, and then that sort of just encourages you then to just get on the power.
Okay, right.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Steve, that was really good. Fastest man on track.
No,
Easy.
I'm not.
You were just then.
It's just because the faster people were going on the opposite side.
Nonsense.
Thank you for the good kind words.
You're right, Steve.
I know my place. I've been up with my mates.
You'll get him, don't you worry.
Yeah. So, how I know I listen or watch the GoPro back. How what if I was going it myself in another 20 minutes, half an hour time? It's hard for me to remember what you're saying to analyse that. I feel so it's not until I come again, like in a year's time, that I can go back, do my homework,
Yeah.
and then watch the videos, right, know what to do, and a lot of things you say, and then chip away at that all the time. It's just a pity that I'm not here a few times a year to progress a bit quicker.
Yeah. So for the rest of the day, best places for you to work on: chicane. Just try to have a little bit more confidence in the way you release the brakes.
Yeah.
So you're getting to the point when I'm asking you to release the brakes, you're having like a little extra stab, and
Yeah.
then you're releasing.
Yeah.
Without having that extra stab, just nice gentle release. Without that extra bit of pressure, nice gentle release. Turning, you'll find you carry a lot more speed through the right, and that just allows you to hook up the left really nicely.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly uphill going into the right hander, and then you kind of hit a depression at the left apex. So it's almost the same effect as old hairpin. The car's a little bit compressed, so you can really accelerate through there.
Yeah. So see when I was the long straight here and probably this one here, the first corner, I was braking, and then sometimes I was like watching the guys, and I was like, okay, everybody's like braking in a straight line, changing down gears, then off the brakes, then turning in. And I thought the more proper way to do it was brake, 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 and then come lightly off the brake as you're turning in to the apex, then off the brake.
So trail braking, you need a lot of things to work with you on the trail braking, mostly the camber of the corner. So for example, turn 2 and turn 4 at Alton Park tomorrow, I'll be getting you to trail brake in there because they're cambered in.
Which corner, sorry?
Turn 2 and turn 4 at Alton Park,
Right, okay.
you'll trail brake in. Whereas round here, most of the corners are either neutral camber or off camber,
Yeah.
so you don't really want to trail brake, or like old hairpin, which is positive camber, but just the profile of the corner and what comes after, you need to be accelerating before it. So unless you've got aero and slicks, trail braking is very rarely the be all and end all.
Okay, right.
In a car like this, think of getting it stopped, getting it turned, and getting it gone.
Okay, so I'm trying to learn a technique that I don't really need to learn. Is that
Not necessarily. There's some corners where you're going to trail brake in this car, but again, they're mostly cambered in corners.
Okay, right.
For the most part, this car is at its best getting it stopped in a straight line, carrying a healthy amount of speed through the corner, and then on the power getting out of it. Whereas if you try and trail brake in a car like this, what you're going to find is it's going to be very squirrely at the rear end. So by the time you want to get on the power, you've already got the back end like doing a little bit of turning.
But I thought that would help with the rotation as well, though.
It can do, but you got to sort of have a very quick release of brake pressure.
Okay, right.
Not drag it
I think
out to the apex.
I'm thinking too far ahead, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn a bit, so I thought, okay, I'm not going as quick in the corner, but if I can brake, change down a couple of gears, lightly off the brake, so that it's like a lot of pressure, as I've been trying to teach myself, into the apex, then that is the right technique.
The best way to get the back end to have a little bit of wiggle room in this car is that initial release of turning.
Yeah.
So you get to about there, say this is turn 1, and you got that much lock when you get to your apex, so that when you get to there, off brake at that point.
Okay.
So your initial turn is done off the brake, but the vast majority of your run to the apex is done on a balanced
Okay.
throttle.
So it's like trail braking for the first quarter of the turning.
Not even quarter, just trail braking for that initial, turn in.
Okay.
That initial like quarter of a second turn in as you release,
Okay.
and you'll find the weight does this. The weight transference shifts, and the back end comes out.
It's so technical. I don't want to hold you up to your next client. I could yap all day, yeah, as you know.
Well, my next man's a Caterham fella, so he's got to sort his intercom out and everything. So don't worry about it.
Hey, thanks again. I love it. I hope you get us a good buzz from the rest of your clients as well.
I love it. I really love it. Best job in the world. Cheers, Steve.
Thank you, mate.